Welcome to the Dave Arbetter Show, Houston's most outrageous talk radio show. We are not politically correct. No, Craig. Just real talk, y'all. For real folks.
Real folks.
Building over 1 million listeners, one candidate at a time. Hey Houston, I'm Dave. Thanks for asking. I want to introduce my co-host, Houston comedy legend, the great Craig Bush. Craig.
What's happening?
Hey man.
What's going on, everyone? Good to be vertical.
It is good to be vertical. It's a
crazy your lane nowadays.
It's just stay in it, man. Nowadays more than ever, it was a crazy week, Craig.
Crazy month.
Oh God, it was
nonstop.
Dude, hey, we had a moment of silence a month ago for the victims in Orlando,
right?
And here we are again, man, in a different kind of, we have
30-day period, but
yeah,
same scenario, same thing going on.
Dude, it's
something happening every day.
Every single day, man. There was something today. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, Craig. But we are. We're gonna. The whole show is going to be about obviously what happened this week for the most part, and we have a guest coming on who is he's a beacon for love and for healing, basically. And his name is Pastor Kellon Nixon.
Kellon, right?
Yes, Kellon Nixon. You might have seen him. He's been on everything, CNN, you name it, MSNBC, all the major stations, and
right.
He was there with his son, but
in Dallas.
In Dallas at the shooting, and he had to go for cover. We're going to talk to him all about that. But that
had to be terrifying. How old is the little boy?
I'm going to say, just by looking at him, I'm going to say, son. Yeah, son. I'm going to say, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going to say around... probably like 10 to 12, somewhere in there.
Little boy.
Yeah, little boy. So it's going to be interesting to talk with Kellon.
Right.
And, obviously, hey, it's, this is we're talking a lot of things. We're talking race. We're talking, relations with our fellow human beings, and it's going to be. It's a touchy subject. Law enforcement. So many things that are
tension.
A lot of tension. So we're going to try to ease the tension. I think, Craig. To me, in my opinion, to just try to be a positive influence just on society instead of I don't think more negativity right now.
Right, I got more questions than answers. So
I like that. Actually, I respect that. I really do, because a lot of people want to talk and talk and talk right now.
And blame.
Yeah, right.
People are frustrated, man.
People are frustrated.
Everybody's mad. They need to just chill.
They need to
if you can.
If you can, yeah. I mean, we have issues. We have issues.
Right, there are serious issues, but
they always say you never make money, in a stock thing when you panic. So I don't think, let's not panic now. We got issues. We know
they say you shouldn't do anything when you're mad or scared.
Right. Hey, real quick though, Craig, I would like to take a moment of silence for. I'm gonna talk about Alton Sterling, the 37-year-old who was shot by the police. Philando Castile, who's 32 years old, and he was shot. And then the 5 officers: Brent Thompson, Lonnie Ahrens, Patrick, and if I mispronounce the names, I'm sorry. Patrick Zamaripa, I think that is how you pronounce it. Michael J. Smith and Michael Kroll. So we're just going to take a minute here of total silence and just pray and think of all 7 of those people. Okay. All right, Craig. It's hey, listen, man.
God rest their souls.
Yeah, God rest their souls, and anyone dying in any kind of violent way is not good, and certainly.
Bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen to bad people. Bad things happen.
Yes, bad things just happen. And but
But this is we're a melting pot.
Yes,
we're gonna there's a lot of different nationalities in America.
Yes.
We're just gonna have to just melt together. Get a beer and drink a beer with a Muslim. Drink a beer with a Mexican.
That's right.
Drink a beer with a Hispanic or Asian.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sit and argue and realize that you really agree with more than you have to argue about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get drunk.
Yeah. Just get drunk.
I got a lot of especially in the comedy world.
Yeah.
Man, I got Muslim friends.
Right.
More
right.
mirror.
Right.
I got Hispanic friends. I got Indian friends.
Yeah.
Sayonara Day.
Really?
That's,
yeah.
We've talked. We've sat. I know. My Muslim friend is not a threat because I've sat and talked with him.
Yeah.
We've talked. He's my.
It's
I
fun.
know I'm not afraid of my Hispanic friend because we've sat down and talked.
I have dear brothers. I call my brothers,
So
but
to have a beer and talk to someone.
Allie out in San Francisco or the San Francisco area, Marin County, and my dear friend who passed away a little over a year ago, Sammy, who are both Iranian and Muslim, and two of the greatest people you'll ever meet. They're
Right,
awesome.
right.
So when I hear, hey, we got to ban all Muslims, that's insane to me. And certainly America was built on freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion. And even no matter who you are, that is a positive that is going to
Right.
help America in bad times. So so freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, again, and freedom of speech. So it allows people, and I got that. I watched Honorable Minister Farrakhan's, who's controversial. I watched his whole Million Man March speech last night. I watched the entire thing. It was 2 hours.
Okay.
I went back and I listened to every word. Now, he is controversial, and I'm part Jewish. There's Jewish blood in me, and there's a lot of Jews who have trouble with him. But truthfully, I think that he is not just to talk about him, but just for a minute. First of all, the best speaker I've ever heard. The guy's incredible. But he was talking about that. He was talking about the fact that America does have those three things.
Right.
That's a big positive for us. And
Especially the speech because that's
Yeah.
communicating.
That's
You should be
communicating.
able to disagree and not handle it like kids would.
yeah, exactly. And
But
you
a
know,
lot of angry people. I don't know, frustrated. I don't know.
yeah, and I have, like you said, I have an Indian friend, Obi, from India, and I grew up in Miami, Greg. I had, Jamaican friends. I mean, I honestly could tell you, growing up, we had every kind. We had Jews. We had, I had a bunch of black friends. We had almost.
They traveled together.
Yeah,
black friends?
totally.
Your black
Cubans
friends traveled together?
Well, travel together. You got.
Did a bunch.
Yeah, well, just crazy stuff. I was brought up in a melting pot. I mean, more so than most cities, I'd
Oh
say.
yeah, Miami.
Houston, Miami, because Houston,
Right.
is one of the most diverse cities in the nation.
And Miami is one of the most diverse in the world.
In the world.
It's like the sixth largest population.
Population
in the world.
man, with diversity.
with the counties, surrounding the counties.
Yeah, so
But-
growing up with every kind of people, man, and white, we had what they call rednecks back then,
Right.
and it just, I tell you what, it worked, and I've seen it work. So I know, and when you're around all that kind of people, and not to say that we didn't have troubles, because we did have,
Yeah, because there's always good and bad.
Yeah, we had Cuban-American brawls
Even
and
in
all
your
that.
family,
yeah,
everyone is the same. In my family, everyone was black.
yeah, okay,
In my family, all
Right.
my brothers
Right.
and sisters,
Every-
all over,
there-
and we, got, had arguments and disagreements and
Yeah.
this and that.
Did you ever
So
see?
you're gonna have that.
you
I
got-
don't care what.
The funniest movie.
It's how you deal with it.
Funniest movie was that, you ever see the movie The Jerk, when
Yeah.
his whole family was black except Steve Martin was
Yeah,
white.
Yeah.
So, but we're just going to have to find a way, I think, to get along. But we're going to talk again with Kellon about that, and
Right. Cool.
and he's going to be on, and probably I'm going to call him out in about 10 minutes. But let's go over Craig real quick. Let's maybe do the news, and I think that we're going to. We're gonna bring Fruity in. This isn't the gay news, but we're gonna bring Fruity in also because she's gotten a promotion. Fruity, come on in. Not the gay news, but the regular news.
We got some news too.
We do. Hi, Fruity.
Hey, what's up, David?
Hey, man, crazy week, huh?
What that old damn Craig at? His ass.
Yeah, Craig, Craig, come on back in here, please.
No, I'm locking this damn door.
Hey, come on, Craig.
stand
Craig
his
is one.
ideas.
Craig's one of the best people I've ever met, man. So,
Can't stand this like this.
what do you got for us, Fruity?
Oh, Wendy Williams,
Oh, what about her?
who I thought was RuPaul.
Right. Oh, yes.
I thought RuPaul had got him another show.
Yeah, I know. Wendy Williams looks just like RuPaul. Exactly. They could be twins. They could be twins.
They could be the same person.
They could be. I know.
You ever seen them together?
No, I never have. I'm gonna Google that when I'm
Why
done.
wouldn't you see them together?
Like, right.
Same damn person.
Conspiracy theory. Go ahead.
She losing money. Wendy Williams has been getting schooled by Rowan Martin after backlash she received from criticizing historically black schools and the NAACP.
Really? Why would she do that? Why? What's
Chevy then took her money.
yeah. Oh, Chevy dropped out of
And
her.
she had an exclusive deal with Chevy.
Oh my God.
But you know, the CEO over that department that ran that, she went to a HBU.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Why? What was her criticism? What? Do you know what she said or what?
She was saying that she don't think it should be historically black colleges because it's not. That's segregating.
Right.
You know, because they don't have historical white colleges. So they're saying that they only admit black. They're not being fair to other races.
Craig, what do you think of that? I mean, I think they do. Don't they have to admit white people?
Why the hell are you asking him?
Okay. Okay, Fruity, what do you think of that first?
Yeah,
Sorry.
ask me what the hell I think.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Give a damn what he thinks.
What is it? Forget
He
Craig.
ain't even in here.
Okay. Well,
He's not in here.
okay. Well, Craig, please come back in too. I mean, I love Fruity, but okay, Fruity, what do you think? Let's hear your take
About what?
about the. You know, first of all, don't black colleges have to accept white people?
Whoever can get in that school.
Yeah.
It's just historical a black college because it's just been around that long. It just should be called historical colleges.
I got you.
Just like Yale
Yeah.
and Harvard and Princeton.
Well,
those
I'm-
not historical white colleges. They just historical colleges.
Am I talking loud? You said Yale. Am I yelling?
I said Cornell.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so all right, so forget Craig. Let's before Craig gets back in, do you anything you want? Yeah, you want to say anything about Craig?
Other than I don't like him.
I know. What is it though? Is he a little conservative for you?
He just weird.
He's not. He's polite.
You know he got 6 toes on each foot.
Does he really?
Yeah, he wears sandals sometimes.
Oh my God! I have to.
And you be sitting there and you be like, one little piggy went to market, 2 little piggies. Then you run out, what this piggy do? This piggy got a daytime job. This piggy an intern.
Yeah,
This toes.
this piggy's doing an online marketing course. But maybe
He
that's
take
why
his
he's so good at
shoes off.
math. Is that why he's so good at math? I mean,
Probably.
that probably is.
He take his damn shoes off and look like a jury.
All right, what else you
don't
got?
like him.
What
He
else
just-
you got for us?
I tell you like Emma Foot, he wore me the wrong way.
What else you got for us?
Joe Paterno.
Yes.
This is just straight news. Joe Paterno knew
Right.
of Jerry Sandusky's abuse in 1976 per testimony in newly unreleased, unsealed records.
Jesus.
That's plain.
Well, I mean,
His old ass knew.
that's got to. I don't think
That
they
boy
should.
was in the 6th grade.
I don't think they should put up his statue. That's controversial, but I don't think they should
They
put.
took that statue down.
They took it down, but they're trying to put it. There are people trying to get it back up again. But
Oh, get it
I mean,
back
he
up
knew
again?
he knew that many years ago. Why not come out at least before the big stuff happened or after one of the big things happened? He knew already that he leaned that
They're
way.
trying to get his
I mean, come
statue
on.
back up again.
I
They
just
said the little boy had went to him directly and told him that he was being molested and abused by Jerry Sandusky.
that's sick then, that he
and he
did-
said, I don't have time for that. I got a game to go coach.
I mean,
This boy
that's,
being abused, he worried about a draw play.
That's reprehensible, yeah. I mean, that's reprehensible. Look at it this way. What I knew when I found out that there was this big problem, and then I remember they interviewed him, and he came out on his lawn, and he was like, go Big Blue, go Big Blue. I was like, dude, this is a serious shit. This isn't college yah-yah, ha-ha,
It's a
hoo-hoo.
damn shame.
It is a shame. I
They
mean,
oughta-
they ought to put... if they put a statue back up, they should string something around his nuts or something, just to...
Put 1,000 fleas in his sleeping bag.
I'm telling you, and I know there's money involved, and because the family, I get it. His legacy was wiped out in 2 seconds, but that's
Hold on,
tough shit.
David.
Okay,
Keep on. I need
Okay.
to go see what this is.
okay, what's going on over there? What's happening? All right, let's. What? Craig's back in.
Thank you.
Craig, we're
How
gonna
can it smell like fish every time?
tilapia. You said.
Tilapia, every time I smell it.
Let me smell it.
It's like salmon.
Let me smell that.
Tell me that's not perch. Tell me that's not perch.
Dude, that, honestly, that smells
Every
like.
time I get, man, we gotta
That smells
get,
like dolphin the fish.
we
Not
gotta
the,
get
yeah, that smells like dolphin.
Nemo.
Yeah.
That's Nemo. We found Nemo.
Remember when it rained so much that one day and I came in and a school of mackerel passed me? That's what it smells like.
Nemo was in my headsets. We found
Jeez,
him.
that's crazy. Man. But we got to have you and Fruity in some kind of like maybe a counseling session or something.
Yeah, I put food in the Boston crab.
But yeah. But now, Craig, are you gonna finish up with a little more regular news? Anything else or no?
Well, in politics,
Okay.
I don't know if I should read this or just say it.
Okay, say it.
Bernie
Yes.
endorses
Bernie.
Hillary.
Oh my God. Really?
Dynamic duo.
Okay. So
Yeah, they're gonna run. They're gonna run. I bet you she picks him as a VP.
well, I think
gonna
it'd be.
kick
I think they'd be unbeatable, and I will tell you this.
Batman and Robin,
I'll tell you this much, Craig.
Green
There's
Hornet and Kato,
people. I was talking with
Bud
Celeste.
and Jeff,
Oh yeah.
Thelma and Louise.
Oh my God. Yes.
We'll let Hillary be Thelma.
Yeah. Well, or yeah. You know what other
Bernie's gonna
Abbott,
wanna be
Abbott and Costello, some people might say.
Yeah, Heckle and Jekyll,
Heckle and Jekyll, you know.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, but I would tell you this much, Craig, that it's called political expediency. If you know, Celeste was wondering. I was talking with her before the show.
Aye.
Arg, mateys, arg.
What did the pirate say to the dispatcher?
What, matey?
Aye, patch me through.
I have to look at mine. I forgot my. That's great. I had actually written some down.
You did you?
Yeah. But yeah, we were talking, and basically she's like, how could they used to hate each other? And that's called political expediency or quid pro quo. You give me something, I get something.
Exactly.
And you equal.
That's
so.
how it works. You wash my back, I'll wash yours.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
hand washes the other.
That's base. So wow, they're together, and
Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a Cadillac. This is politics. They don't want a bone.
they don't want a bone. They want a
want a
Cadillac.
bone.
It's all about money, one way or the other. But
What
I
is
like the
it,
burn.
man?
I like what isn't about money.
What isn't?
That's I mean, America's color is green when it comes down to it.
And everybody speak bad about money, don't they?
They do. They
You know,
do.
Now it's fashionable to say that you grew up poor. Like if you're in politics,
Yeah.
like Mitt Romney and Hillary Clinton, and they have to hide. They got to make it seem like they don't have as much money.
Yeah, they grew up.
I don't
poor.
want you to know how much money I got.
You don't talk to
Because
too
that
many
may
people.
change your-
Yeah, you don't talk to too many people who said, "I grew up rich" or "I grew up." I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
They want the grassroots people. That's who you need, the grassroots people. If the rich, just the rich voted for the rich,
right.
you know, they wouldn't get enough votes to get in office. They need that's you know who's going to stop Donald Trump? Poor people.
Yep,
Poor people.
you're right.
He's going to need them to vote. He's going to need minorities. He's going to need blue collar workers.
Yeah.
He's going to need single moms.
Yeah,
You know, he's going to need Hispanic vote. He's going to need that minority vote. He'll get the bitter vote.
he's going to get the
He'll
bitter
get
vote.
the-
You know, white, black, either way, but he'll get the bitter vote.
And then the who's ever married to that bitter, you get the wife.
Yeah.
The bitter wife vote.
Yeah,
too,
I
you know.
have to go. I have to go with old, with old so and so ones.
Right, because
you know.
I'm kind of like more secure than the single mom.
Yeah.
Who's trying to get things, policies passed that'll help them.
Yeah.
So but the poor people are going to take it down.
Yeah, the poor
Mitt
people.
Romney had 62 million votes against Barack, right?
That's huge.
And
right?
got. Oh, did he? He's still trying
got
to
wiped
win
out.
some electoral. Right.
Yeah.
You think Donald Trump can get 60 million people to vote for him?
I
And
just-
that still won't do it. I don't think.
No, I just read today
60
that
million?
the Republicans are afraid that they're going to get completely obliterated, like wiped out,
They're
wiped
gonna
out.
win in like Montana and
In two counties in
Wyoming.
Idaho,
Yeah.
we won 40% of the vote, and we're happy about that.
and on to Cheyenne. Then Burlington, and then Butte,
yeah,
then we're going to Pierre.
right. Then Peoria, Illinois.
We killed them in South Dakota, folks. Just killed
Would
them.
you-
That I can tell you.
These hands
I
are not
heard-
small. They're not small.
I'm hearing we did numbers that have never been done before.
We did.
You're always hearing something.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you know,
heard my people. I'm hearing
yeah, we did great in Spokane, Washington. You know, I mean, it just,
in Dubuque.
yeah, and yeah,
They
Dubuque,
love me in Dubuque.
yeah, Dubuque, Iowa, yeah,
Get those three electoral.
yeah.
Get those 3 electoral votes.
And but even it's funny, but even in Utah, they don't like him. They don't
Stacking 'em
like
up.
they don't like him in Utah. You know,
No, not even Utah?
No, not even Utah. You know, that's the thing. Even like you would think, well, Utah, you know, is pretty much you think they would. No, they're like they're pissed at him.
Yeah,
there.
you would think they are lightheaded.
Yeah, yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't
The
like
elevation, you
yeah,
know,
the
like-
elevation. You know,
like-
it's like they don't. They, you
Get
know,
no air up here. I'll vote for him.
we kicked ass in Burns, Oregon. You know, I mean, it's just like there's 42 people there, Donald,
Yeah,
and
you
7
get like
cows.
Two electoral votes.
Yeah, you got 4 of the milking cows actually voted for Donald, and then the other 3, you know, did not. And it's like,
They had write-in votes.
they're
They
mo-
wrote in like Elsie or something.
yeah, we're mooing
That's right.
to Trump. But well, listen, we're gonna call right now. We're gonna call Kellon, and let me give him a buzz here, and it's gonna be an interesting conversation, and just to see what happened, just the physical part of it, what happened there, Craig, is gonna be interesting to talk to.
The thing about that is that that was done on the fly pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He drove up ahead and was able to park and get a perch position.
Yeah.
I don't think he planned it even like a day before. He saw like the crowd developing,
Yeah.
took advantage of it.
Hello.
Pastor Nixon, how you doing? This is Dave Arbetter and Craig Bush.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm great.
How are you? Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Can we just call you Kellon? Is that okay?
That is perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
great,
Thank you,
great.
Kellon.
Well, I know it's been probably the craziest week maybe of your life this week. Has it been? Just you've been through insane things and seen crazy things. Could you talk about it a little bit, Kellon?
Sure. Like I've said numerous times, the rally was peaceful. The marching was peaceful. Everything was peaceful right down to the conclusion. You know, here and there you would have little profanities screamed out towards the police, but when everyone was protesting and chanting, they kind of drowned those things out. And we got right down to the end, and, a couple of guys started again to, yell those obscenities. And I decided, maybe it's time for myself and my son to leave. And so about maybe 45 seconds, a minute before I think the shot started, my son and I, we walked away. And we walked a block away, the opposite direction or the opposite block from where the shots were. When we started to cross the street, shots rang out. And myself and my son, we ran across the street. I said, we got to go, son. We got to run. I've heard people saying that it sounded like firecrackers, but, I've heard gunshots before, so I knew exactly what it was.
Right.
We got behind the sign and we ducked, and right there next to us, there was a Dallas police officer, and he was, on beside the sign, looking toward the trouble, and the shot stopped. And it was like my son and the police officer and myself, we were all on the same thought process. We gave it like a 1,000, a 2,000, and myself and my son, we started to run, away, and that police officer, he started to run toward the shots. I didn't actually see any of the carnage or any of the people being shot or anything like that, though.
Wow. So how far away would you say the shots were from you? Were they like several hundred yards, you think, or was it further than that? Or because you don't know where the shots are coming from when things are like bouncing off the big buildings there, right? As far as the echoes.
No, I pretty much knew exactly where it was coming from because I could see, I could hear them and I could see the direction the shots were. It could have been maybe a little less than a football field away from us.
Oh, okay. How long did the shooting last?
Oh man, maybe about a minute. It was about a minute. But you know how in situations like that, time is different.
Exactly.
You're not really working on real time. You're working on pressure time, I guess is what you call it.
Exactly.
Right.
Surreal time.
Yeah, surreal time. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So your son was right there, and I'm sure you held him. You had his arm tighter than you've ever held it before. They're running and trying to protect him. How old is your son, Kellon?
Elisha is 5 years old. He'll be
Wow.
6.
God bless him.
Yeah, God bless you and him.
Wow.
Thank you.
So it's like you kind of, saw like the tension of the element of the atmosphere. You could feel the tension before then, and you started to leave
Well,
like maybe a minute before the actual shots.
it wasn't really tension. I just didn't like. It was a little lack of order. I didn't. There was no tension. The police and the people got along well. If you've seen the pictures and different things,
Yeah.
they were taking pictures with the officers.
Yeah.
There was no tension, but there was just a little bit of disorder to the point where guys would. I don't think that they were actually with the organizers. And so when you
Right.
get people who come with their own agendas,
Right.
somebody asked me yesterday, why are these people at the Black Lives Matter rally yelling pigs in a blanket and so on and so forth? I don't think that that's Black Lives Matter. I think that there's people with their own agendas
came out-
showing up to something and trying to take over.
Right, and change the direction of that
Right,
movement.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That happens in any kind of rally. But I was talking earlier about how we have in the U.S. freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, and you guys were peacefully having an assembly and marching, which is what we are all about. Right. We want that. There was some shootings that were horrendous that happened, and whether police shootings happen for African Americans or white people or brown people, whatever color, it doesn't matter. We all are upset about that. And I'm glad you guys were marching. I came down to Houston to assemble, and that's what we want. And like you guys said, it was a peaceful rally. And I've heard that the police were getting along with the people who were assembling there. So, unfortunately, the media in general, and we are part of the media, I get it, but we try to be part of the solution, Craig. I
Exactly.
think, as opposed to
That's our
part of the
effort.
problem.
That's our effort.
And I felt the tension, and this is why I wanted to have just the whole show on this today. Obviously, is because, and Craig did as well. Just because when the tension is palpable in the country, that is not a good thing. And I think hate does beget hate, and so I think love does trump hate, and that was Craig's line. Love trumps love Trump's hate, but it does because what do you think about that? Because your message was about love, as I recall hearing you speak.
Yeah, my message was let's make our love louder than their hate. Let's love louder. And I had to address my congregation this Sunday, and one of the things that the Lord gave me is that in this nation, we're too bashful about our love, and we're blatant about our hatred. Just think, if you read a blog or anything, somebody can write, an essay on what they hate.
Very
but if you
easy.
ask, hey, what do I love? It's very short. It's not as wordy. It's not as meaty. We've actually set the country up in a way in which we have designated love days. And so I love my wife more on Valentine's Day or on Mother's Day than I would any other day. My wife deserves flowers every day.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I get a massage on Father's Day, and so love it's becoming too silent, and this is why I said we need to love louder. In volume, in size and in series, we've got to make sure that people know that they're loved. I believe that even this shooter in Dallas, he didn't feel loved. And so once hate begins to fester and once hate begins to take over a person's being, it's going to be acted out outwardly. I can't hold hate in very long.
Yeah, it's going to be
So I'm
perpetuated.
going to act it out on myself or I'm going to act it out on someone else.
Exactly.
So I just think we've got to start showing more love. I think if someone heard just more often, I love you, I appreciate you, what you're doing is great, if we started showing more love, like I was saying, love in the traffic, and I got a little people making fun of me. They tried to turn it into some kind of kinky type thing like love in traffic.
Right, of course, always.
Right, of course, yeah.
But what I meant is, and I've tried to start doing this myself, is let someone go ahead of you. I remember my baby brother passed 5 years ago. Today's his birthday. I was driving like a wild man when I got the call that my baby brother passed.
Oh, right.
I don't think any of the people in the other, or I didn't know he had passed. They just told me he was in serious condition at the hospital, and so I'm trying to get there and pray and see what's going on. No one in the other cars knew what was going on.
Right.
But from the other car, you would just think, why is this maniac driving like this?
Right.
Not knowing what he's going through, not knowing what's going on.
Not knowing at all what I was going through. And
Right.
so that's why I say we've got to start looking at each other's predicament, each other's situation, and start putting each other before us. There's nothing wrong with letting someone go in front of you or go first.
I agree.
I mean,
that's how you perpetuate the love.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
will
sir.
perpetuate itself.
No,
There's
it's
no other way.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, that's the message that we want in society,
Let's
because
love louder.
yeah, because hate is so easy just to go with hate. And I notice with hate, when people are in the hate mode with whatever it is, and sometimes, you have, there might be a legitimate reason to hate, I mean, obviously there are legitimate reasons to hate, but if you let it take over, you shut out everything. You shut out your mind, and you can't talk, you can't listen, you can't reason, you can't do anything. And,
here's the thing. When someone is hating or spewing hate at you, and you decide to hate, you're actually taking their side.
Exactly.
Because hate is on the side of hate.
Right.
Love is on the side of love. And so if you give them or you reciprocate that same emotion or that same feeling, you're actually taking their side. You can only conquer hate with love, and vice versa. You can only conquer love with hate. Right. So if I hate back, then all I'm doing is giving you what you wanted. I mean, I would rather, like the Bible says, I'd rather heap coals on their head by continuing to be loving toward them.
Right.
Yeah.
Kill them with kindness, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's the only way. And even if I don't kill them with kindness, I'll leave feeling better about myself as a person.
Exactly.
I think that we've forgotten, to be humane. I don't feel better because once I'm not saying I'm beyond all of these things. I don't want to put that out there about me that I'm a perfect person.
Right. You're working towards perfection.
Right.
Working towards
I'm
it.
working towards it, exactly. And so when I've been in these situations that I've returned hate from hate, you know what happened? The rest of the day, I thought, how could I have hated better? Oh, man, I could have said this.
Still feeling it, right. Taking it with you everywhere you go.
But but when I respond in love, when I give back love, I feel better. I feel relieved. I'm released from that situation. And that's not to say that we're just going to love ourselves through these tragedies. We have to have some serious conversations at the same time. We have to admit that, there is a race problem in America. We have to admit that and acknowledge that there's a segregation problem in America.
Yes.
But while we're looking for solutions, we have to look for solutions that are loving.
Right. And that's to make a conscious effort to love someone that's showing you hate. I'm sure it takes a conscious effort rather than just a habit. You have to work at it.
You have to work at it. There is this is America. We do have serious race issues that we have to address. We have to be honest and truthful. And I have some personal ideas too. And it's a very, very touchy subject. So touchy that you just have to go with kid gloves on it. But it does have to be addressed. We do have issues with people dying at the hands of the police, and the police in general do a great
so far in 6 months.
Yeah, and those numbers in Norway, or I think they were saying Sweden. I looked somewhere and it was like 10 years they had not one police shooting, not one police where someone was killed, not one, or I don't even think a police shooting. So we need to get. Come on, we need to get better. You talked about toward, in that word. Toward, there's a law that everything is created is in harmony with the law of evolution, and change, nothing is standing still. It's either moving toward perfection or moving to disintegration. There's nothing, you're never standing still. So let's all, I think, move toward perfection. I always say direction is, perfection is the direction. So let's move toward perfection. Doesn't mean we're ever going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it does, go ahead, sorry.
I said, and we can get closer. And I think one thing that I hear a lot is, I'm not a politician, or I don't have a great opportunity or a venue to speak these things. I don't have a great platform. Well, I think you just started personally. You start working on race relations yourself. I made a challenge on my Facebook page yesterday. I said, let's do this. Let's try to genuinely make a friend with a person of another race. One thing that I've noticed is that African Americans and white think that we're the only people in the world.
Right.
Think that we're
That
the
is so
only
true.
people.
Everything is black and white, right?
Yeah.
Black and white. What about Hispanics and what
And
about
Asians and Indians.
That's
and-
right. That's right.
And so I said, let's try to make a friend. Just start by telling them, the recent tragedies in Dallas and in America really woke me up, and that I want to step outside of my comfort zone. I want to get to know you. I want to know your hobbies. I want to know about your family. And possibly by the end of the week, maybe we can end up actually making a friend. I've come to realize that I have a lot of things in common with white guys. I have a lot of things in common with Asian guys. There's nobody in Dallas, Texas that's really a Chicago Bear fan.
Right.
But me.
Hey, when he said, when he said earlier, Dave mentioned something. I thought he was gonna say something about the Cowboys,
Okay.
but I didn't do anything.
Well,
but you're a Bears fan, so it doesn't it doesn't relate anyway.
No, well, Pastor Nixon, I just, in that vein, when we do get off the air, I want to personally talk to you about my Pokemon collection. But anyways, well, no.
I want. We can also make friends
we
with.
don't have that in common.
And we can also make friends with law enforcement. Also,
Yeah.
I went a couple of days ago. I went into a store, and these two police officers were at the counter talking to the lady behind the counter. And I walk in, and they all stop talking.
Right.
And look towards me. I go down the aisle. One officer followed me down the aisle, and when I come back up, he asked me, "Say, how are you doing?"
Really?
I say, "I'm doing okay." He said, "No, really, how are you doing?" I said, "I'm okay."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
And he
good.
said, "I guess this is not an easy time for either one of us."
Wow.
Right.
And we hugged.
Wow. Did you really?
Yeah, because he was like, "How really, how do you feel?"
Wow.
Because I'm like
That's
short with mine. I'm like,
acknowledge
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I didn't
Yeah.
really know he wanted to know how I felt. I thought I just meant, how are you today in general?
He's
No,
like one of those-
how are you
He
feeling?
was trying to see, or what are you stealing, or
Right.
Yeah.
But then he clarified it, crystallized it when he said, because I'm feeling kind of like how he's feeling. He's like, this is not easy. I guess this is an uncomfortable situation, or uncomfortable time, he said, for
Yeah.
both of us.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I might want to know, how are you feeling?
Right.
You
Right.
know?
But that's nice because it's getting to
So, and I may never see him again, but I think I made a friend that day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'll run into him again. I just happened to be in that convenience store at that time.
right.
And my only fear about that is that we're right now we're still in the period of shock.
Right.
So everyone's on their best behavior.
Exactly.
But what happens 2 months down the line? When we get out of this, do we go back? Do we revert to our old behaviors? And so that's the thing, is that we stay conscious of this thing, because what happens is we stop being proactive and we go back to that reactive, train of thought, and we wait until something else happens, and then we want to act right again, or we want to behave appropriately again. But let's be proactive instead of waiting for things like this to happen and then saying, "Oh, we got to fix it."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And just in general, stay away from the killer buzzwords that you just hear over. I'm not even going to say any of them, but any kind of stupid buzzword, just try to stay away from that. That's going to put people, like the left and right. I'm talking about left and right. Left and right buzzwords. The left has their buzzwords.
Moderate.
Yeah, the right have their
Conservative.
buzzwords. Just stay away from that as much
Well,
as
that's
possible.
politics there,
That's politics, though, and I know that's but
Yeah, that's to pigeonhole you with some type of belief. And if you think about it, no one is all conservative on every issue. You may look at someone that feels one way about abortion, another way about the death penalty.
Could I stop?
You don't have to be conservative on both issues.
Could I stop you there? I'm adamant about this. I just want to bring this up. I can't even believe that everyone, it's in America, it's maybe everywhere, but it's so left and so right. You got it. Me, I've got things that lean towards the right. I got things that lean way towards the left, probably more towards the left for me. But I can't. So we got to pick one party, and if you're not 100% in that party,
There are some things that doesn't matter if we're left or right at all, like abortion.
Yeah.
They shouldn't know. They shouldn't care how I feel if I'm left or right on abortion.
right? Yeah.
Ask the woman.
Yeah, and but even if we disagree on something, let's listen to the other. I mean, you ever see an argument, Pastor Nixon, where you got two people arguing, and 9 times out of 10, even on Facebook, any of these, no one changes anybody's mind through this. I mean,
it never
venting.
happened.
They're
it never happens. So what about listening? And that's what me and Craig said. Hey, let's listen to Pastor Nixon.
And that's like social media, so that's a whole nother. I don't even know what's going on with social media. Seriously.
Yeah, what do you think
You
of
have
social
people
media?
talking into space.
Yeah.
But you know who you listen to?
Who?
You listen to people you love.
Yeah. Okay.
When I got a difference of opinion with my wife,
Right.
I listen to her. But if I've got a different opinion with some random person, we can argue all day. And it's sad because I don't even care. But you listen to people you love, and that's why I go back to we got to love louder. We got to learn to love. You know, I got to learn that if you're this passionate about this, whatever the hot button issue is, if you're this passionate about it, maybe I just need to listen and understand how you feel.
How you feel?
Right. I used to hear that a lot. No one asked me how I feel. Tell us a little bit more about your Let's Love Louder. You put that on the T-shirt yet?
Oh yeah. My brother-in-law actually, he's on Facebook, Derek Chambers. I wasn't trying to capitalize on anything, you know.
Yeah. I know.
It would kind of be me contradicting what I said if I came on and said we got to be more about morality than we are about economy, and then hey, let me get a T-shirt. But anyway, my brother-in-law, Derek Chambers, he's doing it. You can look him up on Facebook, friend request him. It is on T-shirt. But we got letslovelouder.org. That's what's really more important to me. That's my heart's issue. It's a donation site.
Okay.
Also, you can go and friend me on Facebook or like me on Facebook. I'm accepting all friend requests. I've been getting 1 billion of them. I'm accepting them, of course, until people start being too creepy. And there's a link on my Facebook as well to get right to it. But the donations that are being made, I think we're close to like $2,000. The site just went up yesterday, and I need people to get behind this. These are going to the officers as well as to the family members of Orlando Castile and Alton Sterling. And so we want to do as much as we can to be a blessing to these guys. And then also tomorrow night, if you're in Dallas, and I think it's going to be televised. I'm not sure yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to be talking on the subject, How We Heal. I'm at Christian Stronghold. That's in Dallas, Texas at 6810 Samuel Boulevard, 75228, and that's 7 p.m. with Pastor Hal Johnson. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's love louder. I don't want to just be a person who talks about things and then I got a little buzz and a little momentum, and so I want to use it for good things and positive things.
That's good.
I love that. I'm gonna spell it out just for everybody. It's LetsLoveLouder.org. Letslovelouder.org.
Right.
And go there, and those are beautiful sentiments, I think.
Correct? Yes, and don't feel bad about selling the T-shirts for that reason. So
yeah,
sell them. We'll
that's
share
a great
it,
reason. Yeah,
and I'll be friend requesting Mr. Chambers and yourself.
And just in general, though, I'm a white guy, and we have just in general, like what, I'll ask you guys, like what could white people do to make things better? Like, that might sound like a stupid question, but, just give me a little direction.
Well, I
too.
could use a CD player.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, like I said, I have more questions than answers.
What do you think about that question? Just from my, hey, what could I do to make things better, just in general? Is there anything, as a white guy?
I think, if you made the first step, then the first step, of course, being acknowledging that, there are some racial issues.
Right.
I think as a white guy, what I would like for you to do,
yes,
because there are certain fraternities that I think will never be broken into. That's just natural, though.
Right.
Is that when you hear a racist joke,
yes,
don't laugh at it. Don't even just ignore it. Tell that guy, hey, that's not cool. I think we all watch shows like Family Guy and the Cleveland Show or whatever it is, and we're really waiting for the subliminal racist joke. We've got to get rid of those type of things, But, as a white guy, I would just like for you to be, this is what I want to stop hearing.
Okay.
I made a black friend. I got a black friend.
Right.
That kills me because Am I different as a friend from a normal friend?
Right.
You know, and so stop putting the caption black on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I met this eloquent black guy. You know,
Right.
That was the issue we were speaking of a second ago with Wendy Williams saying historical black universities.
Right.
But no one says historical
White universities, right.
like Princeton or Yale. But
So we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that.
she even
Yeah.
has her demographics set up by female fans. And then she have demographic black female fans.
Right.
So she know who to, you know.
So
market.
if you say yeah, I've got this friend, he's really smart, he's a black guy, that would be there that's a load is loaded is what you're saying. There's loaded things in there.
I feel like it's loaded.
Yeah.
I can't have a frustration with Wendy. That's her business. It's marketing.
Right.
You know, but I'm talking about on a personal issue,
Right.
on a personal level. You know, if I'm your friend, don't tell your other friends that I'm black. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
If I'm your friend, you know, you don't tell your other friends, hey, I got this blonde haired friend.
Right.
You know, so it makes it more of a real thing that when your other friends meet me, they're like, hey, why didn't you tell me he was black? I'm sure that's what you're gonna get, right?
Right.
Why did I have to?
Why did I have to? I mean, and there you go. If there, yeah.
Why didn't you warn me?
Yeah, it's so well. First of all, it's so insane. Here's why it's insane. You mean to tell me the color of somebody's skin means a shit? Are you kidding me? Excuse cussing.
That's where we are, man.
But I mean, are you? That's the most. I mean, just seriously, the thought of it is absolutely. It's like saying, "Hey, just blonde-haired people. I don't like." That is so insane. We don't understand. So
If I was shot and I was rushed to the hospital,
yeah,
am I gonna say no black doctors? Hey, what is the doctor black or is the doctor white? Get this bullet out of me.
Wait, is the ambulance driver black or white?
yeah. Right.
Who's driving the ambulance?
Who's driving the ambulance? It's insane. It really is. And I mean, we have to maybe look back into everybody's history and how insane this is. And that's something else that I was going to talk about a little bit. And again, it's very touchy, but to me, and tell me if I'm going too far here to even reach this, but just the history of African Americans in America. I think in schools they don't really teach some of the real atrocities that did happen. And I'm not saying to bring up bad things, but maybe we need to look just at how we teach our history. And a lot of the the great African Americans who I never learned about maybe in school. Benjamin Banneker who designed
Whitley.
Benjamin Banneker who designed the whole White House, the whole Washington D.C. He designed it.
He invented the clock.
And even saying this, you're saying basically and I don't think you're going too far. That's a great question, actually.
Okay.
Whose history are we teaching?
Right.
We're not teaching our history, and then we get to understand why African Americans don't feel included, why we feel excluded, why we kind of feel the way we feel. Because I mean, in all honesty, we've already been stripped of a lot of things in coming to America and in slavery, which we don't want to get too deep into. But we don't have our last names. We don't know how to really research ourselves. So give us something that while we're going through school, and at the same time, give your children something of value about us. Because here's a big problem. We don't see value in ourselves as African Americans because we haven't been taught anything about ourselves positive. And then at the same time, an Anglo-American or a white child, he doesn't see value in an African American because he doesn't know anything good about any African Americans. I just finished reading the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, and this guy is a slave as he writes this, he's about 28 years old. 17 years of his life, 18, he's a slave. He basically teaches himself to read and write, and he's one of the most eloquent speakers that I've ever read. Who knows that?
Oh, exactly. It's so important. Now, I want to stay on this for a second, just because we're here. We're here, and I think it's extremely important because we need to. All right, I'm going to try to. In my family, I'm going to just talk on my family. My family, that my wife, is my wife going to be better? Okay, okay. If I could if I try to keep my wife down, I've been married 25 years, but I don't want you going to school. I don't want you to, that's how I'm going to control you.
Right.
Or is it better if from day one, baby, I want you to go to school. I want you to improve yourself. We need for, white people, I think, I'm just, and stop me guys if I say anything that's weird, but we need to help the African-American community, build themselves up and realize, how great you guys are, I can't think of any other way to put it. You're an incredible culture, an incredible people. Just so much. Your history is incredible. We're not, we go through Black History Month, and it's like it's just a month. And believe me, as white people, you don't think about it. Let's really talk about the history, the great history, and also the bad things that have happened. I mean, listen, I've got Jewish blood in me. There are bad things that happen to Jews. In Germany, okay, I'm going to give you an example. This isn't a black or white thing because this is a white and white thing. In Germany, my wife told me this this morning because I was talking about this. In Germany, they really talk about what happened in the Second World War, the Holocaust. And the shame. Whatever. So they talk about, they say, hey, listen, we can never let this happen again. So this conversation, I'm a history major, Pastor Nixon, and the history of what happened to African Americans needs to be talked about. When we talk about it, then we could take it in our brains and our hearts and go, and then we can apologize. Now, let's talk about that for one split second. Now, I'm going to give just a little example. My wife, beautiful, and she had her teeth were a little off. I loved her teeth, but they were, they're not the perfect white, they're white, but not perfectly straight when she was growing up. But I loved them. But she wanted braces, okay? And now as we're getting older, I saved money. I had, $7,000, $8,000 cash saved up just for a rainy day kind of thing. Just working hard. I sold meat door to door. I worked hard, and I got it saved. But I didn't, and this was bugging her. She wanted the money for her braces. It was important for her self-esteem. One day, she finally sort of blew up at me, and then it caught me, both of you guys, it caught me, and it just hit me. I started crying. It floored me because I didn't realize, my idiocy didn't realize, it was ignorance. I did not realize that she needed this for herself.
for herself.
So you know what I did? I didn't care about the goddamn money. Here's the money.
Right.
And I started broken down and crying, like, here, take it to help you. And
to feel better
I was
about
just thinking,
yourself.
it wasn't me being greedy, I'm going to buy a watch with it. It was like for our family, but she needed it. So this is the kind of conversation, to me, that we need as white people to say, to realize. But we got to get to the true history.
You finally did realize that, though.
I finally realized it.
So in all these things, you have to be talking to people that are hearing you at the same time.
Right, you do.
People that want to hear you.
But
Like the Reverend said, you have, if someone is spearing hate towards you and you showing them love back, they have to. You've done your part.
But here's the thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I want to hear what you have to say, Pastor. Go ahead.
Well, basically, what I want to say is that I think if your wife would have told your father,
right,
and your father would have explained that to you,
right,
you would have been more receptive,
right.
And so basically, what I'm saying is, and I don't want to put the whole burden on white people,
right,
but for white people to respect and honor and acknowledge Black history, Black present, Black future.
Right.
It has to come from white people.
I agree.
We've been trying to force it. We've been saying, hey, we're here. Hey, notice us, remember us, acknowledge us. And a lot of the times we're ignored. And then we get what we've got now. So I think it has to come from white people as well. You know what? I'm interested in this. Because you know what? If we could get the best Black physicists, alongside with the best white physicists, alongside with the best Hispanic physicists, and so on and so forth, we'd have great ideas.
Yes.
But and it goes back to your point of we're either going towards destruction, or I can't remember exactly the way you put it.
Yeah,
but
or disintegration, yes.
Or disintegration or deliverance or something like that.
Yeah, perfection or disintegration. There's no in between. You're moving.
Right.
That's a law of the universe, universal law.
Moving.
Yeah.
And if we're moving to the same drum, the same beat, continuously, guess what? Our enemies are going to learn the beat.
Right.
They're going to learn the march. They're going to learn the orders. And when they learn them, that's when they're going to jump on top. And that's what's happening right now. We're tired of the same old beat. You know, we need a different beat. We need a different point of view, a different perspective.
Okay, and I want to bring something up. We have 4 minutes left, but this is important.
Very well put.
Very well put. But when we go back and start talking about the real history of things that have happened in the past, it's not pretty. But, you know, you really start talking about, there's also great things there were great white people that helped African Americans. You know, John Brown bringing his sons to, you know, Harper's
And the
Ferry.
countless people that marched
You know, who
for
died, you
civil
know,
rights.
who died for black
For
people.
civil rights,
Underground
actually.
railroad.
Yeah.
We have an underground railroad without white people.
Right. And, you know, so in other words, but there are things that are going to not be pretty. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because you have to dance around it so much that a guy like me, you know, I have a lot of incredible in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like I will do anything, you know, for people, not, you know, for black, white, everything, for people. So I want our country to be so strong, but we're not going to get there if we ignore this problem. Do you guys feel me on that?
I agree.
Do you agree with that or not, Pastor Nixon?
I completely agree.
Okay.
I mean, we're actually becoming weaker because we're putting our strongest points against each other.
Right.
The frustration and the hostility.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
And a house divided can't stand.
yeah, but if we don't acknowledge it, then then the conversation, and I don't mean to cuss, but the conversation is bullshit. Then you don't trust me. Oh, this is just Dave, and he's talking shit. No, I'm not talking shit. I'm talking listening,
You know,
and learning.
But the thing is, my brother-in-law told me he went on a civil rights trip, and he was with actually a white civil rights activist.
Right.
And he had the opportunity to ask him. He said, if you guys knew that African Americans deserved their civil rights, that slavery was wrong, and so on and so forth, why did it take you so long to say anything or to do anything? And this old, wise white man, about 85 years old, responded to my brother-in-law. He said, that would have been having to acknowledge that my father was wrong, that my grandfather was wrong, that my great-grandfather was wrong, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest issues, is that it's so hard to look in that mirror and say, I messed up. And so when these tragedies happened, you know what I had to do? In order to move forward, I had to say, I've made some white jokes.
Yes.
A lot of
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I've made some Asian jokes. You know, when I was a kid and we were 8, 9, 10 playing Pee Wee football, our favorite thing was there was a black man, a white man, and a Mexican man, and they walked into a bar. And I mean,
Right.
that's just the structure of a joke, though.
Yeah. Right.
We never laughed at the one that was funny about the black guy.
Right.
But the one that was funny about the white guy was hilarious, and the Hispanic guy and the Asian guy, those were the hilarious jokes.
And it's all semantics.
We're not blaming anyone. We're just trying to get to the truth of what happened so we could apologize it and move forward. It takes 2 seconds.
The thing after
go.
that, well, I just said one quick
We got
thing.
51 seconds left. That's
One
okay.
quick thing. After you acknowledge that you're
Yeah.
wrong, you have to actually change yourself.
True.
That's what. That's the harder part
Hey,
for a lot of
listen,
people.
Pastor Nixon, will you come on our show again? Because we have a lot to talk about. More.
I would love to, guys.
Thank you, sir, and God bless you.
Pastor
and your
Nixon,
son.
God bless you.
I'm so glad
Love
that
you,
your son
man.
are okay.
.org, guys.
Okay,
Please donate.
let's lovelouder.org.
Right.
Appreciate you, Pastor Nixon.
Hug your
God bless
son.
you.
Hug your son.
Hug your son. Great talking with you.
Thank you, sir.
Great conversation. Craig, we got
Yeah.
20
Like
seconds
I was
left.
saying,
Go
you
ahead.
have to change yourself. That's the only way we can change the world.
That's it. We can change the world.
By
We really can.
changing yourself.
And America
you can't
could
go
be
out and
Yeah.
make everyone that don't agree with you shoot them, or make everyone that don't agree with you agree. Change yourself, and everyone will come together. But everyone's not going to change.
Words
So-
of wisdom, though, Craig, and we'll love y'all. Talk to y'all.
Right. Oh, and one more thing.
HMS Net Radio, Houston, Texas.